Anantapurti Vaishnava Namacharya Shri Hare Dasa Jai Sakura Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Shri Hare Shri Asadi Gaurav Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Dasa Swami the Little Gaurav Shri Vrindavan Harinama Sankirtan. All glories to Assembly. All glories to Assembly. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. So we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 25, titled The Glories of Devotional Service, text number 5. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Vacha.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatse.
Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatse.
Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatse.
Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatse.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatse.
Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatse.
Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatse.
Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatse.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatse.
Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatse.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Vacha.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Matu Priya Chikirshaya.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatse.
Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatse.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Vacha.
Pitari
Prastiteranyam.
Priya Chikitsaya.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Bindu Sare Vatse.
Tasmin Bindu Sare Vatse.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Bhagavan Kapila Kila.
Maitreya Vacha.
Maitreya Vacha.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Pitari Prastiteranyam.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Matu Priya Chikitsaya.
Tasmin Bindu Sare
Adivasi
Tasmin Bindu Sarevase
Bhagavan Kapila Kila
Bhagavan Kapila Kila
Mataji.
Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya Uvacha
Vitari Prastiteranyam
Matu Priya Chikishaya Tasmin Bindu Sarevase Bhagavan Kapila Kila
Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya Uvacha
Vitari Prastiteranyam
Pitari Prastiteranyam
Matu Priya Chikishaya
Matu Priya Chikishaya
Tasmin Bindu Sarevase
Tasmin Bindu Sarevase
Bhagavan Kapila Kila
Bhagavan Kapila Kila
Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya Uvacha
Vitari Prastiteranyam
Vitari Prastiteranyam
Matu Priya Chikishaya
Matu Priya Chikishaya
Tasmin Bindu Sarevase
Tasmin Bindu Sarevase
Bhagavan Kapila Kila
Bhagavan Kapila Kila
Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya Uvacha
Vitari Prastiteranyam
Vitari Prastiteranyam
Matu Priya Chikishaya
Matu Priya Chikishaya
Tasmin Bindu Sarevase
Tasmin Bindu Sarevase
Bhagavan Kapila Kila
Bhagavan Kapila Kila
Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya said,
Maitreya said
Pitari.
Vitari
When the father
when the father
Prastite
Prastite left
Aranyam for the forest, Matu his mother, Priya Chikitsaya
Priya Chikishaya
with a desire to please.
with a desire to please
Tasmin on that Bindu Sare
Bindu Sare
Lake Bindu Sarovara
Lake Bindu Sarovara
Avasit he stayed Bhagavan the Lord Kapila Kila indeed. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Maitreya said, when Kartama left for the forest, Lord Kapila stayed on the strand of the Bindu Sarovara to please his mother Devahuti. We'll repeat the translation. Maitreya said, when Kardama left for the forest, Lord Kapila stayed on the strand of the Bindu Sarovara to please his mother, Devahuti. So purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Very small purport. In the absence of the father, it is the duty of the grown son to take charge of his mother and serve her to the best of his ability so that she will not feel separation from her husband. And it is the duty of the husband to leave home as soon as there is a grown son to take care of his wife and family affairs. That is the Vedic system of household life. One should not remain continually implicated in household affairs up to the time of death. He must leave. Family affairs and the wife may be taken charge by the grown son. O Agyana Pilarandasya Jnana Shalakaya Tasmai Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sahitam Veda Swayam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vadasi Gaurava Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. So here we see Kardama is leaving for a forest to take a renounced order of life. Incidentally, today is also the sannyasa taken by Srila Prabhupada. 17 September 1959, Srila Prabhupada also took sannyasa. 57 years back, if you calculate 2016, 57 years back, Srila Prabhupada took sannyasa on this day, September 17. So, incidentally, we are also going to talk about Kardama. So here, if you see the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, that's the Vedic system of household life. So what is the Vedic system of household life? See, the household life, if performed according to the rules and regulations of Varnashrama Dharma, right, will lead to spiritual perfection. So what is spiritual perfection? We normally say, spiritual perfection, attain the spiritual goal. So what is spiritual perfection? Spiritual perfection means to awaken the love of God. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prema Kumarta Maha. The goal of the human life is to awaken the love for Godhead. We naturally have love for so many things, right? Some have love for the pet animals, dog. In the Vedic system, we used to have cows, right? Love for the cow is all right. Not love for the cats and dogs. What will happen? They will also become the next cats and dogs. Yeah? Look at the love. So the love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is recommended in the scripture. So one, if they follow the Varnashrama Dharma as described in the Vedic injunction, then one can awaken the love of Godhead which is dormant in everyone's heart. Srila Prabhupada is saying, right? This love of Godhead, it is not something different, it's not something foreign. It's already there, lying dormant. It has to be kindled, it has to be reawakened. Right? It's not something different. See, we all have assembled here, There is love for Godhead, love to hear about Krishna's topic, isn't it? And that's the reason we have all assembled here. It may be to varying degrees, right? But there is some love. So we have to fan up that love and it awakens the love of God. What's the advantage of that? Now if one is slowly on this path of love of Godhead, right? That's all you have to do is love Krishna. Vedic scriptures say. So one may think, what is this, We are not seeing Krishna. How can you love someone? Right? Now the Vedic scriptures say, if you start loving Krishna, slowly develop a love, right? If you start that process, what happens? One will fully realize that they are the spirit soul. You need not have to do anything separate. Look at this process, right? Naturally, you do not have to do something different. Naturally, slowly, when you start the love of Godhead, one naturally and automatically and fully realizes that he is a spirit soul. So once you realize that you are a spirit soul, what happens then? You don't stay back in the material world. You go back to God. So this is a process given by Srila Prabhupada. Awakening. Otherwise it's very difficult. How can suddenly, one can develop a love for, even for the family members also. We see, right? It's a gradual process. Correct? It is not that someone gets married immediately. I love my husband, I love my wife. It doesn't happen. period of time, people try to understand each other. Right? So in the same way, if one develops, or at least plans to develop love of Godhead, then one can fully realize that is a spirit soul and go back to God. A very simple process. You do not have to do anything. In the other yugas, right, they have to really struggle, I tell you. Really struggle. This process given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is such a simple process. You are anyway eating, eat prashad. Anyway you are talking, chant Krishna. You have to read a lot of literature as well. Read about Krishna. Naturally you develop a love for him, the Supreme Lord, who is unlimitedly powerful. You are dealing with unlimitedly powerful Lord. Right? He is not like the chief minister or the prime minister or something, He is a universal minister. More than that, completely spiritual. There is not even a material things in Krishna. Completely spiritual. Very difficult to understand the personality of God, Krishna. Right? God is Ishvara. He is a God of the God. Very difficult to understand Krishna. So imagine, right? We are all working, right? We have seen dollars, right? Who's the richest person here? Other than Krishna. We don't want to go into details. Say for example, I have got $10 in my purse. I think I've got $10, right? Now, imagine you are introducing me to someone else, okay? And I am just asking, hello, how are you and all that. And how much are you? They say he's a very rich person. So I ask him, how rich are you? He's saying, no, or I got property worth in everywhere throughout the world. It works out to be about $65 billion. $65 billion. I cannot comprehend that. It's too much for me. Even materially, right? What is $65 million for a person who's owning $100 or $10, right? It's too much, mind-boggling. We cannot understand. Or a tiny ant, it's also a living entity, right? Ant is also living, it's got a family, it lives for about 100 days. They live for 100 years. Kali is not even 100 years. Ants, they're also making very much economic development, taking 1 grain of sugar from the kitchen. It has got a big plan. You go left side, I go right side. It's a plan, strategic planning they're making. Just to take 1 grain of sugar. Such a big plan. They use a laptop, Microsoft. Yeah, they plan it. You may not know, you may laugh. We are laughing. The demigod is laughing, looking at us. These guys, they live for Kali Yuga persons. Look at this. They live for 75 years. 75 years, how many days of Indra? 75 years? 75 days, right? 75 days. 75 days is living. He is making big plans coming to Australia. He's struggling for visa. What is wrong with him? 75 days according to Indra. And he's struggling. Right? The demigod is thinking. And what do the demigods pray to Krishna? The 5th canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. They say, oh Lord, if at all, if you have got some sukriti, some devotional service, little bit left on, lingering, okay, please allow me to be born in India or Bharata Bhumi or somewhere on earth, so that where there is duality, happiness and distress, and in that way we get purified and will come and join the process of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and will go back to Godhead. Demigods are planning. The lifespan is millions and millions of years. But what we want? We want $65 billion. What for? At the time of death, you can't even take $1, but still we want it. This is the power of Maya. It's enough if you have a house to live in, right? But it has a material mind. It doesn't stop like that. More and more. and more. That's what it is. It doesn't stop. So an ant, we're talking about ant, right? The ant trying to understand Mount Everest. Can it understand? Can it understand? Shyam, can the ant understand Mount Everest? No. Can we understand Krishna? No. But we can understand Krishna. Vedesu durlabham, adurlabham atma bhakto. Become his dear devotee. We are tiny, insignificant soul, right? A tiny, insignificant soul. How much can he understand without the help of the God? He cannot understand anything, right? But if the Supreme Authority, if he allows him to understand him, that is the easiest process. You can understand the Lord. So this is the power of Krishna. Now that Lord we are going to love. We are loving this process. Who can give this process? Other than our Founder-Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. No one else can give this. No one. There are so many movements who keep their name, who have their name in the name of the Founder-Acharya. Such a mission, But Srila Prabhupada, his mission name is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He could have started Srila Prabhupada movement, He did not start. This is a purity. So whoever comes here, they develop purity. And purity is a force to Krishna consciousness. Because the mind is contaminated. The soul is pure. We are the soul. We are the soul living in this body. This fact we tend to forget. Right? We were existing. There is no history of the soul coming into existence. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, the soul is eternal. I am also eternal. We are all eternal. But we have been changing bodies. The soul was there before this body was created. Now it's living in the body. And after the body is dead also, the soul is living. This is a transcendental knowledge. The difference between body and soul. Krishna says. Okay. Now coming back into this household life, as Srila Prabhupada says, as we're discussing household life. Now household life, as much as people in the brahmachari and sannyasi are eligible to go back to Godhead, in the same way, the household is also eligible to go back to Godhead. There are 12 Mahajans, right? Mahajans are the persons, right? Exalted personality who knows the signs of Krishna consciousness. Mahajans, okay? There are 12 Mahajans. Anyone knows the 12 Mahajans? By heart? Kapila? So, in order, I know we read so many times, but still, this Kali Yuga brain, So, Lord Brahma, Narada Muni, Lord Shiva, the 4 Kumaras, Lord Kapiladev, Swayambhuva Manu. We are going to, this is Swayambhuva Manu is the father-in-law of Kardama Manu. Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka Maharaj, Bhishma Dev, Bali Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami and Yamaraj. Now out of the 12, right, 7 are Grahasthas. See, 5 are Sannyas, 5 are Brahmacharis. So 7 people are Grahasthas. So that gives us an indication that even a householder can return back to Godhead, provided they follow the Varnashrama system properly. Because it's an ashram, it's an external ashram. Grahastha ashram is also, but you have to follow the rules and regulations very, very, very carefully. Now, in Bhagavad Gita 9.32, let us see what Krishna is saying. What's the title of the 9th chapter?
The most confidential.
Very good. So today we're talking about the most confidential knowledge. In that text 32, anyone knows text 32? No. Okay. The translation is, O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, although may be of lower birth, Krishna says, women, Vaishya, Sudras can attain the supreme destination. So we'll not go into detail. What it means is, Krishna says, let it be any lower birth. Even here in Kali Yuga, everyone is born Sudra, right? They're lower birth. Anyone can attain his destination, supreme destination. And when Krishna says that, does he mean it? Or he just like us says something, and walk away? He means it, right? We can attain the supreme destination. So everyone is eligible to go back to Godhead. So that's the point we are making it here. And Srila Prabhupada also says, according to the Vedic injunction, if one follows the rules and regulations, then one is eligible to go back. Krishna is not withdrawing. He will not, hold you back. He will take you back. Before we move into that, I just wanted to see a couple of quotes. Let us see what the great Acharya said, saying about the going to the forest. So here, Kardama Muni is going to the forest, right? He's going to take a renounced order of life. But we are in Kali Yuga, right? So are we have to go to the forest or we have to live at home? What is the choice for us? Is there any forest here? No. But in the center in Australia it is there, right? But it is not habitable, isn't it? People who go there, I don't know whether they come back. So it's not. Let us see what See, Narottama Dasa Thakur has sung a song, right? In that he's saying, Greheva Vanete Thakur Ha Gauranga Bali Dake. Right? Prabhu may be able to say this. Now, what he says is, whether you are a householder or a Vanaprastha, renounced order, you do service to Lord Chaitanya, then you will become a liberated person. Narottama Dasa says. Rupa Goswami, he is saying, regardless of one's circumstances, if one fully engages his activities, mind and words in devotional service of the Lord, he should be understood to be a liberated person. Then Bhaktivedanta, what does he say? He has sung a song also. Grahe tako, vane tako, sada hari boleta. Whether you are a householder or a vanaprastha, what you have to do? You have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's all you have to do. You can sit on the floor or you can sit on the sofa and chant. Doesn't matter. The tiny choice you've got. Krishna is giving you the choice. You can chant in western suburb or eastern suburb, but you have to chant Krishna. That choice Krishna is giving. Now, what I thought is, I was just thinking a little bit on this one. So normally, you know how when you think you get some thoughts, Krishna's grace. I was just thinking, here the situation is, Kardama Muni is going to the forest, right? That's the scenario. Please, all of us, please understand the scenario. Kardama Muni is leaving his wife and his son, and he is going to the forest to take the renounced order of life. There is a similar but a varying situation in the 5th canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, where the father is requesting his renounced son to enter the household life. This is Bhagavatam, right? See, in one part of the Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, you understand? The father is going away, even though the son, Kapila Muni, Kapila Dev, is a reincarnate God himself. He's a supreme personality of God himself, Kapila Dev, right? The husband is leaving the son, who is a God himself, and going to the forest. Why? Because he's following the Varnashrama Dharma. But in the 5th canto, the father is telling his renounced son, take up household life. You have to do that. So, anyone guessing the story? Priyavarta, very good. Okay, so we'll try to go a little bit into the story of Priyavrata. Now, Priyavrata story is coming. As you know, it's Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So, Maharaj Parikshit is asking Sukadeva Goswami. Now, I had heard bits and pieces of Priyavrata story. Now, tell me, Priyavrata is such an advanced soul, right? Right? Why did he take up renounced order of, why did he take up household life? Priyavrata is a renounced, advanced devotee of the Lord. Right? When someone is very advanced, they don't want to enter into materialistic life, matter and dealing. They want to increase their love for the Lord. Why did he take up household life? One. And two, after taking the household life, it apparently looked as if he was attached to his family members, right? His wife, children, and all that. And in spite of that, how did he attain the highest perfection of life? Which is Krishna consciousness, and he went back to Godhead. So how did he do that? Maharaj Parikshit asking Sukadeva Goswami. Now Sukadeva Goswami said, yes, you asked a very good question and give an answer. So as part of his answer, he was saying how when he was meditating one song, Manda Madana Hill, isn't it true? Priyavrata is meditating on Manda Madana Hill. He's already renounced, right? He's just completely absorbed in the science of Krishna consciousness and he's doing devotion service to the Lord. Now at that time, Uttanapada, he was the second son. Now he is finished, like his career is over. Now someone has to rule. Swayambhava Manu was his father. So Swayambhava Manu went to Priyavrata and requested him, listen, there is someone who wants to rule the universe, right? No one is there. Can you please rule the universe? Now, Priyavrata, being so much renounced, right, is already into science of Krishna consciousness. Right? So he almost refused. But in Vedic times, one has to follow the orders of the Guru and the superiors. The father is the superior, so he's in one way forced to follow the advice of the father. But at the same time, internally, he was not willing to take up the household life. It's an entanglement, you have to go work. However money you bring, it's not enough. We all know, right? Household life, right? More. This is how it works. So it's not enough. So he said, there's a big entanglement, I'm very happy. Then at that time, looking at his situation, he's really, see, this is a trouble. The trouble is not getting a job or going to a higher job. The real trouble is, he's in a fixed life, he's interested in devotion service, but he's been asked to enter into the Grahastha ashram. So he's constantly in anxiety and worry. At the time, his grandfather, who is his grandfather? Priyavrata's grandfather? Lord Brahma. If we have Lord Brahma as our grandfather, we are sure to go back to Godhead, right? Right? But we have got Guru. Guru is a personal associate of Krishna. Do you trust your Guru? Yes. He has come. Srila Prabhupada has come from the transcendental sky. So if you believe Srila Prabhupada, you're going back to Godhead. Right? You do not have to have Brahma actually. If you have Srila Prabhupada, that's enough. Your Guru. Confidential servitor of the Lord. So Brahma, the first created living entity of this universe, the chief of the demigod, is always working for the welfare of the universal affairs, Lord Brahma, who is directly created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his mission. That Lord Brahma descended from Satya Yoga to the earth, Bhuloka, to give advice to Priyavrata. Because he knows that, Priyavrata will take me seriously. Other people, he will try to, sometimes, while away. So Brahma descended. At that time, Narada Muni was there, Swayambhava Manu was there, his father, and Priyavrata was there. Now, Brahma descended with all his demigods, with all his associates, Vedas personified. And then he came, and then he smiled at Priyavrata. He said, my dear boy, you know that everyone has to follow the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, including myself. Right? he gives an example how a rope, right? A bull is tied to the rope, through his nose, right? And he has to move according to the driver, correct? Do the bull have a choice? Huh? In the same way, we are bound by the three modes of material nature. We don't have a choice. Based on the previous activity, your karma, you are put into this body, with that body and with the conditioning of the mind. You have to perform your activity based on the three modes, right? You are bound. You are taken as a prisoner by the material energy. You don't have a choice, right? So one has to follow the Varnashrama Dharma as prescribed in the Vedas. According to Vedic instruction, you have to follow. You have to do your prescribed duties. So now your prescribed duties, you have to take up this life of household life. You have to take it. And Brahma is saying, very, very important point. Okay? This is a point which is dwelling on this. He's saying, a vanaprastha, or a person who has not controlled his senses, right? He can go from one forest to another forest, but he's moving with the 6 co-wives. He may think he's independent, but who are the 6 co-wives? Mind and the 5 senses, knowledge acquiring senses, is always coming with him. He is not free, right? So, if one controls his mind and his senses, right, then doesn't matter whether he can live in the forest or he can live in the house. But Priyavarta, in your case, you are already an advanced devotee of the Lord. You have used all the senses in the service of the Lord. You have already controlled. Your senses are under your command. Right? Now you can take up household life. Nothing will happen to you. You will be fixed. Brahma is giving assurance. What about us? So, that's a lesson we have to take. Right? So, if the senses and the mind is controlled, completely used in Krishna's service, all the senses and the mind, then doesn't matter. You can be sannyasi, vanaprastha, right? You can live anywhere you want. You can live top of Swanston Street. What's the problem? What is the problem? Your mind is under control. So in this regard, Krishna explains in the 6th chapter that the mind can be a friend or an enemy. Right? Those who have conquered the mind, Krishna says, the mind becomes a best friend. What is a best friend? What do you mean by best friend? When mind becomes your best friend, it will allow you to perform the human mission. That is what it means. Not to, someone says, my mind is very good, my best friend. Why? Because I am able to earn $60 per hour. No, that is not, Krishna did not say that. I can read a lot of computer programming. No, Krishna doesn't talk about. According to Bhagavad Gita, one who knows the difference between body, soul and super soul is intelligent. Krishna doesn't talk about computer programming or living in Australia. He doesn't talk anything about it, as far as I know. He's talking only about mind, body, soul, super soul. That's it. That is the highest knowledge. He doesn't talk about inferior knowledge, the knowledge of the matter, the knowledge of the world. He talks only spirit, where everything is conscious. So, one who has controlled his senses, doesn't matter. He can go anywhere he wants. Okay? So, friend or enemy. So, if the mind is able to allow you to fulfill your human mission, which is what? To understand that you are a soul. Human mission is not to work from, I'm already getting $30. Now I'm doing a course which will enable me to get $80. That is not human mission. Because that is only spoiling mission. You're going to die anyway. Right? Within this birth, one should realize that there is a spirit soul. Your $60 is not going to make you, it is going to make you worse. Before coming here, many people will have good habits. After coming here, they pick up all bad habits here. If one is not a devotee, right? So it's a human mission. And also in the same chapter, Krishna is saying, with the help, deliver yourself with the help of the mind. Do not degrade your mind. What do you mean by degrade? Always you should be in the mode of goodness. Do not go to passion or ignorance. Lower modes. Krishna rejects that. Mode of goodness is recommended. What is mode of goodness? Knowledge that you are the soul. Your intelligence should be sharp. Your intelligence should be always says, or it should be always dwelling on the point. Yes, I am a spirit soul. I am not this body. Then it can control the mind. If the intelligence is material, going after money, how can the intelligence control the mind? It's impossible. Right? Intelligence should always control the mind by saying, yes, I am a spirit soul, I am a spirit soul. That's the only way. And if mind becomes your friend, what will happen? It will not allow you to do any bad things. See, why do you people pick up bad things? Because the mind is degraded. Already the mind is conditioned in the mode of passion and ignorance. So when they see cigarette or whatever, maybe etc., they pick up. Degraded mind. But when the mind is in the mode of goodness, even if you give cigarette, they'll throw the cigarette and walk out. See? This is good. Not attractive. Because they know, I'm a spirit soul, I've got nothing to do with cigarette or coffee or something. And knowledge and sense control. Mode of goodness means Brahmana. The two qualities of Brahmana is, they'll be averse to sense gratification. If you are a Brahmana, you should be averse to sense gratification, one. And two, they naturally have a disliking for the world. It is not that you imbibe. It is natural. Because why because of the mode of passion and ignorance, one developed a very strong desire to enjoy this world. They've taken a vow, I will enjoy this world. See? I will enjoy this world. I will get squeezed out whatever pleasure I'll get from this world, from matter. I'm a spirit soul, but still I will squeeze all the pleasures from matter. They've taken a vow. So who can stop them? No one can stop them. Right? So mode of goodness, Krishna is recommending. Naturally you will come to my side. Right? So I just thought that this story is relating to that. And then later on what happens? Then Prabhupada took Lord Brahma's advice very, very seriously. And then he got married. He had many children, and then at the end of the lifetime, he ruled for many, many thousands of years. At the end of the lifetime, he went back to Godhead because his senses were controlled. Friend, mind is friend. If mind is a friend, one of the advantages is you are living with your friend every day. If mind is your enemy, you are living with your enemy every day. You know how the enemy is, right? Do any one of you like to live with your enemy and be happy? No, not possible. So if mind is your friend, every day your mind will help you out. It's a pleasure. Mind is enemy. Drag you. Come. You will say, go to the temple. No, movie. I want to serve Prashadam. No, outside food. I want to talk to devotees. No, talk to university friends. Enemy. Friend means, come on, when can I go to see, or like all of you? When can I attend Bhagavatam class? When can I chant? When can I serve? When is Prashadam time? See, this is all devotion. Devotional. Krishna. You're eating Krishna every day. Remnants of Krishna. It's basically Krishna. Anything in contact with Krishna is Krishna. There's no difference. Absolute. Material world is separate. Spiritual world is absolute. Everything is Krishna. Right? So, this is the best way. So, this human form of life is very, very rare. Do not take it lightly. one has to go through 8.4 million species to get this human form. Very, very rare. Right? And then we got a human form. Please do not waste in your material pursuits. You have a job. But devotion service is a priority. One can earn $1 million. What is the use? You cannot get this 1 million next birth. Even if you know the bank manager next birth, he will say, no, sorry, we can't give you, right? But it's devotional credit. Krishna is saying, Param Tastva Nivartate. Higher taste. One gets a higher taste and does devotion service. Solpam Abhyasya Dharmasya. Then, next birth, if, say for example, if you are unsuccessful, right? You can practice only 10%. Doesn't matter. You did only 10%. Be happy with that. Next birth, you can start with 11%. You can already get human form. The promise is there, right? Otherwise, there is no promise. Material world is not giving you any promise. All it can give material world promises, next birth you can become a cat or a dog. You choose. That is the choice you can give. No, I like cat, I like dog. Okay, pick one of them. Pick and choose. You cannot get human form if you have the material energy. Some bhakti should be there for the Lord. There is no bhakti, no human form. Because you don't know soul. Now, about this worth in how I said human form, there's a small story. I agree, listen, that's a small story. Once, a king, he asked his minister, now, I want to know the worth of a diamond. Okay? Take this diamond, okay? And go and find out its worth. Just an example. Because kings, normally they have a lot of moral stories, right? They teach something, like a guru, they teach something, and the entire population, the entire subjects know about it. So when the king is doing this, everyone will know, oh, the king has asked for something, what is it like that? Right? You're listening? Okay. The king gave a diamond to a minister, to his worker, and said, go and find out the worth of this diamond. Now this guy thought, okay, let me go to a vegetable merchant, okay, grocery shop. South Melbourne market. And then there he went to a vegetable vendor, capsicum seller, and he said, I'll give you this diamond. What is the worth? I'll give you 10 kgs of capsicum. How much is worth? $70. Maximum. Okay, $70. Okay. Then he went to a carpenter. Right? Carpenter, and he said, okay, you want this? Then the vegetable thing, when he went, he asked, what do you do with this diamond? He said, I'll give you 10 kgs. This diamond is a shiny thing. I'll give it to my son or my daughter to play. Because they didn't know the word. Then this carpenter said, what is it? He said, I'll give you $500. Now what will you do with the diamond? He said, because I'm making a lot of things, I will stick on to one of my work, and it will be shiny, and I will sell it for more price. Still he didn't know the word. Then he said, okay, these guys didn't know the word. Now let me go to a jeweler and find out what is the word. A jeweler shop, he weighed and everything, he saw, this is a very good diamond. I can give you $100,000 for this one diamond because it's worth it. Right? So what do we learn from this story? Is it a diamond story or a life story? Life story. Now the first one, vegetable, is in the mode of ignorance. All they know is sense gratification, that's it. Nothing else. Do I get my cigarette? Do I get my coffee? Do I get my monthly income? I'm happy. Because I get sense gratification. That's it. Nothing beyond that. Huh? Vegetable. The second one, carpenter, is mode of passion. I want economic development. I'm better off in Australia than India. Why worry? Don't worry. The jeweler is mode of goodness. Person who is doing devotional service, they know the word. This body, oh, Krishna has given. I will not use it for sense gratification. I will not use it for too much economic time. I want to eat something. Once in a while, come to Hare Krishna temple, fill up, and don't eat for the rest of the days. It's fine. Bhaktivedanta, the feast we had, one meal is enough actually. That's heavy one, right? So don't eat for the whole day. Why do you want economic development? Right? So economic development, if you go, it is some carpenter type. So the jeweler is like a devotee type. He knows the worth of this body. The body is to realize that you are spirit soul and go back, finish off. You do not have to come back and work here next birth. Finish it off. Why do you want to come back and work? Okay. Now, because it's talking about renunciation here, I just thought, I'll add one more story because the story brings up some theme. Again, this is one more story where king, he is asking his minister, are you listening? King is asking his minister, what is renunciation? What's the purpose of renunciation? Right? So this minister, he did not expect the king's reply. So he said, he was just in a fix. So he said, renunciation means one who's detached from the world. Right? We're going to go a little bit deeper. So bear with me. So he said, renunciation means detachment from this world. Then, do we have a lot of people renounced in our kingdom? Then the minister said, yes. Okay, tomorrow I want to see one detached person, renounced person. Now this minister did not expect that. He just said yes, And the king said, okay, tomorrow I would like to see a renounced person in my kingdom. So this minister he did not know what to do. So what he did was, he went and he said, okay, I have to devise a plan. So what's the best plan? Let me find an unemployed person. He's the best candidate. Because he wants money and he will also follow. So unemployed person is very good for any work, and Krishna consciousness is very good actually. Because that is the way, and it's easy. In a sense, not in a bad sense, but because people who are working, they'll say, I'm getting $50, I'm getting 80K, what do you think? I want to do devotion service to Krishna, I've got better things to do. But the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam says, Avaipumso paro dharma yato bhakti ajoksa. The highest occupation of any living entity is to offer loving devotion to the Supreme Personality of God. This is the highest job. No. I'm already getting $80. My aim is to get $90. Don't disturb me. I've got better things to do. So someone is higher than Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. What can he do? So he said, okay, I'll devise a plan with an unemployed person who is on dole. So he picked up a guy who is on dole. He said, listen, why do you want to work in coals? Why do you want to work in all this lousy job? I will give you one bag of gold coins. Rest of the life for your whole family and your descendants. It will be good for you. So take this bag of gold, but you have to do one thing. Just one day only. Be careful and listen to my advice. Right? You have to practice meditation throughout the night. Right? Just so that your mind should be at least to some degree controlled. And then tomorrow the king will be coming to you. Whatever you say, you should say, I don't have a desire for it. I don't have a desire for it. I don't have a desire. This is all you have to do. Is it very simple? Meditation, pretend, I have to say no desire. Very simple. One bag of gold coins. It's something like telling an unemployed guy, I'll give you $1 million. Okay? So he said, okay, that's easy. So he practiced that day night, and the next day morning he was sitting there, but he was not used to sitting for a long time, right? Let this talk. Very. Even if someone says, Prabhu, please give Bhagavatam for next 2 hours. Body. And so what happened was, So the king, next day morning, the king came with all his subjects, the minister, the wife, the queen also came. Then the king said, okay. He saw them little bit, disturbed and all that. Then this minister was also, full of anxiety. What will happen? If something happens, my position is finished. Okay? But he was praying also. Let me see what happens. The king came, okay. But he said, okay, young fellow, all right. Now, he said, like this. So one person came with a tray of gems. This fellow looked. Then he thought, no, bag of gold coin. He doesn't know the worth of gems. He said, bag of gold coins I'm going to get. I don't have a desire for it. Okay. Then again, something else came, He said, no, I'm not desired. I don't have a desire for it. Then the queen came with other things and he came with some sweets also, jamuns. His mouth was watering. Like brahmacharis, they know the worth of jamuns. Right? Their mouth was watering. He was about to go and he said, he remembered, then the minister did like this, gold coins, because he almost wanted about to take it. Then gold coin. He said, one day, I will suppress my desire and the next day I can eat lots. Just bag of gold coins. Then he said, no, I don't have a desire for this. Okay. Like that, 4 or 5 times, some 10 times things have come. He said, I don't have a desire. I don't have a desire. And all that. Then looking at this, the king thought, okay, really he does not have a desire. We tried from the material things to the food also, all the things to the food stuff also. Even jamun, he's not interested. That means, he's not interested in the things and eating stuff. So he should be real with nothing. So he offered his dandavats. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna to this guy. Then looking at the queen also, dandavats. Then all the subjects dandavats. The minister is forced to do, because everyone is doing, I am also forced. Then the king walked away. Then the minister came slowly running back to this guy and he said, you really saved me. Thank you very much. Here is your gold coins, bag, take it. He said, I don't want it. Come on. Now it's all over. Drama is over. Now it's reality. Take this, bag of gold coins. And he said, no, I don't want it. I said, what's wrong with you? Are you becoming a Hare Krishna devotee? Hare Krishna devotee takes 6 months to chant and the mind to clear. But within 1 day, is any mantra better than Hare Krishna mantra? More than say Chaitanya's movement? You tell me, And he said, no. I saw the king falling obeisances at my feet. Queen. Right? See, what happens is, for example, you leave the lower taste to get to the higher taste. Param Drisva Nivartate. Krishna explains that. Now, this is analogy. What happens is, say for example, someone is smoking for 10 years or so. He's so much used to smoking. And because of that, he's getting a lot of bad health effects, He's smoking, he's coughing, he's vomiting blood. Okay? He goes to the doctor and the doctor said, you fool. The root cause of your problem is smoking. Do not smoke. Right? If you smoke, then you will die. You will not live. So what's the purpose of that person? The purpose of the person is to live, right? He wants to live. He doesn't want to die. So what happens? He renounces the smoking habit to live for longer time. Understand the point? Right? So renunciation is not renouncing a particular material or a particular thing. Renunciation means going to the next step, higher step. Right? A child has to leave its play abilities to go to school. It's higher. I still remember when I was 6 years old. I was 6 years old. Right. I was older than you by 1 year at that time. Now I told my mother, I go to the school, But if movement, anyone is not looking at me, I will run away. I'll come back. I don't want to go to school. Then my mother said, I'll send my grandmother, my mother's mother. So I will sit in a place where there's a window and I'll sit my grandmother. The moment my grandmother is not there, I'll come out of this classroom. This was it was. But if, and slowly, gradually, over a time and all that, and I think, but I was remembering that. So renunciation means leaving the lower things to go to higher things. Right? So leaving, so what happens? A devotee, he renounces this material world to go to the spiritual world. He renounces a temporary phase of life to attain the reality, which is eternal. He renounces life and death, like birth and death in this world, to go to the permanent life in Vaikuntha or Goloka. Right? So that is renunciation. Renunciation is not just, I don't want coffee, tea, I renounce that. I don't want gold. It's not like that. Renunciation is higher taste. Unless one gets the higher taste, it's difficult to practice Krishna consciousness. One has to get a higher taste. Then it's very easy. Okay. I think we have covered enough of it, probably. All of you look tired too. So we will stop here. If there are any questions, corrections, comments. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Prem.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.